blooming lace on a circle. Acrylic flowers with upcycled fabric. The story opens with a bright yellow circle on my table, a clean field that feels like morning sunlight. I dip a wide brush into white glue and lay down smooth strokes, left to right, then right to left, letting the bristles whisper. This clear layer will stitch two different worlds together. It will hold fabric to wood and invite paint to dance over every raised thread. I bring in a piece of white lace. It once belonged to a dress or a curtain and still carries the softness of a window breeze. I spread the lace across the circle, align the flowers, and press the edges with my fingertips. Petals meet the glue, leaves meet the glue. The flatboard turns into a landscape of hills and valleys. Texture appears like a quiet relief map. When the bond is secure, I start the ground color. A cup of acrylic green waits beside me. With a large brush, I sweep the paint across the lace. It sinks into open cells and rests lightly on embroidered ridges. Some spots go deep and dark, others stay bright, where the yellow peeks through. I am patient and steady, adding layers only where needed, keeping the strands visible. The lace is not a background anymore. It is a living partner. The surface dries, and I switch to a smaller brush. I begin sketching flowers on the textured field. I claim spaces for blooms, using a pale yellow underpaint. The lace pattern guides the shapes. Circles find their centers. Petals gather around each center like a clock of light. Now I pull in richer colors. Warm oranges arrive first, then strawberry reds, then soft pinks, and a little violet for balance. Acrylic dries quickly, which lets me build depth in thin steps. Every petal is a negotiation between paint and texture. The threaded web pushes back, and the brush pushes forward with color. I tap highlights with a nearly dry tip, so the raised threads catch a gentle rim of light. I shade with a thin glaze of green or brown, so petals curl inward. Dots of deep purple settle into tiny pockets and look like glass beads. Leaves and stems grow to support the flowers. I pull thin lines for vines and bend them in easy arcs. I touch a lighter green along the upper side where light would fall and slip a cooler tone into the shade. The garden begins to feel complete. As I work, I think about reuse and memory. This lace had a first life. It may have softened a dresser top or hung in a kitchen where tea was poured. Time changed its color a little, yet the pattern still breathes with patience. Upcycling does not only save materials, it turns history into texture and texture into story. I add final details, tiny dots in the centers, a glimmer on the red petals, a soft halo on the oranges. I check the edges of the circle so the composition stays balanced. A cluster of blossoms leans to one side, so I answer with smaller pinks on the other. The green background settles into a deep tone, like late afternoon in a calm garden. When everything is dry, I set the work into a round frame. The white ring gathers the colors and reminds me of the beginning when the board was bare. Now the lace holds pigment instead of dust. The surface feels both woven and painted. It is a bridge between craft and canvas, between a home object and a field of flowers. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this process calmed your day or sparked an idea, subscribe and stay with the channel. New pieces arrive often, and each one begins with simple tools and a small act of care. See you again in the next creation.